Okay, let me see if I can figure out how to share my deal. One participant. So how do you do that? Come on, baby. Okay. Okay. Why is it not showing up? Okay. I have to be re-educated by this stupid thing. Okay, share. Uh, really weird. Why do they change this stuff all the time? I just love these people. Can y'all not see the slides? Golly, host tools. Okay. Hello. Okay. Share documents. I'm sharing the document. It won't let me share my own document. Ah, geez, you stupid computer. Let me try it again. Oh, there it is. Now, how do you get to it? Documents. Stupid thing. Way. Where are? Okay. This is weird. I don't know what it's going. I've done this every time. Now they change the stupid program. I just love these people. They drive me crazy. Okay, it's not showing up. I love this, guys. What did it show now? Sorry, guys. This is like driving me crazy in this door. Where it lost the program? I've been working on this thing and it's driving me crazy. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. Can you see that?
No.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see hosting?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. I can't believe I did it. Beats me how I did it. Okay. Beginning slide. Okay. Here we go. So as I'm today, I'm not talking by NAMPA. I'm talking being the publisher of radio shows and the senior expo coordinator of my publication. Okay. So the first item I have on here is why, and what I would like everybody to do is ask your questions at the, let me just go to the slides. I might answer your questions. And then at the end of each slide, I'll get your input. So my first question to y'all is why should you host a senior expo? And of course, it allows your publication to diversify its operation rather than have only one publishing operation. And most of the time, it's a potential extra revenue and hopefully profitable aspect. It gains tremendous exposure for your publication because they're going to pick up your publication and learn about your expo, and it gives you added more credibility. Well, they do expos for seniors and boomers. It provides an additional benefit opportunity for your print advertisers. A lot of times my print advertisers, if they're exhibitors, put extra ads in my publication to enhance them to come by and visit their booth at the Senior Day Expo. And so it gets, instead of one ad, I get sometimes two ads from those people. Positive impact on seniors and boomers is tremendous. One-stop shopping event for them to learn beneficial information from all types of exhibitors throughout your area. I get more compliments that's the easiest thing for them to learn about various aspects in their area by coming to our Senior Day Expo. It's a major decision, and you should only host it if you can devote time and effort to have somebody that are able to handle the risk of potential failure. I've heard from other of our NAMPA members that they had failure. The majority of the failures were result of major conflicts on that same day. Another conflict was, as it says, weather related, conflicts with other events that are happening in the area, lack of exhibitors, lack of sponsors. And the other one was the somewhat of negativity by other people saying that it wasn't worth it last year. Why should I come this year? So it had a track record, a bad track record. But the weather related has been some very significant ones. Some people have it intense outside, etc. So does anybody have any other ideas about why should you host one that I didn't think of? Nobody? Okay. What are the primary planning needs? Of course, select a date and time to avoid conflicts with any other events. You can generally contact your local convention and tourist bureau and other people in your area to find out what's happening in the future. A lot of these events, big events, book well in advance so you'll know when not to host yours. So you don't want to try to have anybody competing. Definitely if they're senior boomer related. Yeah, I know of, there used to be a traveling company that went over various cities, and I know that some of our NAMPA publications did their same expo whenever this traveling senior boomer expo came through the area. I don't think that group and those groups do it anymore throughout the United States, but they used to be, they even came to my city in Shreveport, Louisiana, and they paid for ads in my magazine, but of course I didn't run my expo at the same time they did. Selection of venue is a key function. Hopefully find a good venue. I advocate finding one is free of charge because that's a big expense or low cost. Plan for one day prior to setup and the day of course, the day of the expo. What I will add into you, I've been very fortunate enough to past 15 years, I've never had to pay for a venue. I commingled with the State Fair of Louisiana for probably 13 years. And recently I've teamed up with one of our largest casinos in the area, and they've been like wonderful to us and they love it. They got so much impact. And so it's best to try the free option first. And you can tell them that you're going to bring a lot of people to their venue that might help them. And it's worked for me every year, and I hope I never have to pay for a good venue, which is remarkable. Selection of a senior expo coordinator, like Diane, is perfect. Some NAMPA publications have that opportunity to delegate, and I have I've been doing it for umpteen years, but I also recently, the past year, hire an assistant. I'm not getting around as quickly as I used to, not definitely not as strong. So I've hired an assistant. He's wonderful, and he provides. He's really known in the area, and he's not a senior. He's in his 50s, so he's strong and etc. So it's better to have an assistant to your coordinator. And that person also sells booths too. I give him a commission and pay him something for selling the booths. The other thing I don't know if you do, you probably, is seek volunteers. I get at least 20 to 30 volunteers to help me give out door prizes, do registrations, uh, help people setting up their booths, uh, mainly also giving away door prizes so we don't have to spend a lot of time chasing people down in the expo doing that. So, and these volunteers love to be recognized, and I recognize them from the stage all the time. Selection of exhibit company, providing you to set up your booths, chairs, tables, all that, your reservation area. Some venues offer these services rather than subcontracting. Hopefully you can find that. When I book with the State Fair of Louisiana, they already had all the booths, they already had all the chairs, the stage, etc. So they provided it to me at no cost. Same thing with the casinos that I've used so far. It's really fortunate that they have enough tables, booths, chairs, and they're more than willing to provide it with me to me and my expo at no charge. So that saves me a lot of expense for the venue as well as the booth setup, etc. Um, any comments about that? What to charge? That's the most difficult factor. I've seen other people throughout our NAMPA that shared their budgets for their expos and also share their costs. Well, you have to determine all your factors, your revenue costs, setup costs, manpower, entertainment, special event insurance costs. Almost all of my venues, when I host them, I purchase a special event insurance, which is probably $300, but it covers more than above. All the venues have it too. And they said, but you don't really need it. Well, I just want this extra protection in case nothing's ever happened in 15 years, but you never know. And of course, publicity costs. So you determine, in my neck of the woods, I suggest you do one for profit and nonprofit and government and agencies. I have different rates for all those people, for the for profit businesses, for the nonprofits, governmental agencies, and others. And for the past few years, I've offered nonprofits, governmental agencies, and others no charge for an exhibit booth. It's underwritten by the for the for-profit businesses and my sponsors, and also provided as a extra perk by the venue people. So I have primary booths, I have primary sponsor booths, I have just exhibit tables, and then I have special booths on the corners and entryways and around the stage. Uh, Determining the booth rate along with perks for the sponsors, if you have sponsors, is a unique thing. I let them, each of my sponsors, host a special door prize of at least $1,000. And that's included as part of their sponsor rate. So I add at least $1,000 to their, and I purchased the door prize. And that lets them, it's great. They love it because nobody has to worry about going out and getting a tote bag, getting a bag with goodies and everything, and gift cards and TV sets and whatnot. So we do it all for them, and all the sponsors love it. Um, they also, a lot of them help me endorse and pay for any entertainment, of course, tote bags, foods and snacks, and motivational speakers. In the past, I've got them to host various motivational speakers and pay for their honorariums. Most of them agree to do that. And you might want to ask the sponsor, that sponsor is sponsoring our food, snacks, or their motivational. So I promote that as well. Uh, do you offer a discount for current advertisers? I did for 14, no, 10 years. I did offer a discount for current advertisers. Uh, but I found I've stopped it for the past 3 years, and it didn't curtail in my current advertisers and advertising, and nobody even asked about it. Uh, I used to offer an early submission uh, for an exhibit as a discounted rate. I no longer offer that, but it is a perk. Most uh, expos that I attend offer, if you commit, they'll give you a 10% discount. If you pay early, you get a 10% discount and all that. So uh, right now, I've stopped doing that and I haven't had anybody complain, and I've had a record number of exhibitors at every one of them for the past 3 years. Determining setup times and breakout times, of course, you got to determine that. It varies, depends on your venue, depends on how much time they've allowed you for the day before and when they want you to shut down. And I require every one of my exhibitors, even the nonprofit, the governmental agencies, etc., to donate a door prize to the overall event. They might have door prizes at their exhibit booth or sponsor booth, but they must donate a door prize, and nobody's complained. And it's generally $50 or more. So that makes me have at least 300 plus door prizes to be given away at any particular event. Any questions?
Yeah, hey Gary, quickly, you mentioned entertainment. The entertainment itself, is that in the middle of the location? Because when we tried it, vendors complained that they can't speak to people because of the entertainment. And when we had, even before Diane's time, when we had like a separate place for the entertainment, and there were maybe 50 chairs, people would just sit there and wait for the entertainment and not walk around. What do you do? Or what have
Well,
you done?
every year I do the entertainment from a main stage in the middle of the, or generally in the middle of the expo. I tell the musicians, and I've had a band, I've had to low key it with not as powerful amps, etc. So I have not had complaints the past years. Now the place when we have it at our the venue at the casino has the like multi-million dollar stage, multi-million dollar productions. So they have a way to change their system to only make it sound really good right in the front. They don't turn on the whatever it is, the speaker systems way in the back of the expo area. So they concentrate it mainly toward the front where I do not have many. I have about 1,000 chairs there. And that's where the people sit and they come back and forth and go to visit all the visitors. So we haven't had a problem. I had anybody complain. And some of our entertainment is low key. You're going to see at the end of this program, I showed you what my entertainment is. And some of them are guitarists that sing, and some of them are just totally remarkable. I have I had a ventriloquist on the show last time that did puppets and it was really good. It wasn't loud, but again that is tough. When I had it in the Coliseum, which had hold 40,000 people and I had a big arena, and we didn't put any, it was like uh, the acoustics there weren't great, and but luckily they there was a intermission time of about 30 minutes between sets, so they people did get to wander around and meet with vendors, and yeah, we had few complaints because I had a couple of 12-piece bands that offered to come on the stage, and they were there. They were pretty loud. But
Okay.
lately, I haven't got those groups to come back because that's a really large group, and we're playing. Everybody loved them, and I have Elvis come, so Elvis does, and everybody really enjoys Elvis. You'll see later he's been there for the past 15 years. I have several Elvis impersonators that come on. That's a good question. Anybody else? Okay. Continuing, I don't know if you do this. We allow our exhibitors to sell products from their booth, but they must fill out the forms to pay for the state and um, city taxes. And it hasn't been a problem. Very few. I used to have like 15 sell different products. Lately, last year, I think only about five. Uh, but again, it's, they have to bring their own transactions and cash and whatever you call the digital things that does their credit card. So I tell them that's your deal, but you have to pay all the taxes, and the state occasionally comes and visits and making sure these guys pay their duty of sales tax and city tax. But I'm not responsible. So I put that in the note that if you're selling, I'm not responsible for getting the revenue. I don't take a percentage of it. I mean, one exhibitor said, "We'll give you 20% of what we sell." I said, "I don't want it because I'll have to pay taxes on that." So they were thrilled with that one. Exhibitors, free healthcare screenings are a big draw at ours. I mean, I probably the three major hospitals come and give out similar or different screenings. I have a pharmacy. I used to have three pharmacies, but now I get Walgreens. They love me. And CVS, they compete against each other, but mainly I use Walgreens, and they give out tons of screenings and ton of information, lots of giveaways. They love them. Uh, I mentioned they have their own door prize drawing at their booth, and they must come up on the stage before the end of the day to announce their winners. And they love doing that because they get to go on stage and say, "I'm from XYZ Home Health Agency or Hospice, etc." set a deadline for your booth exhibit sponsors. I generally do it at least 5 days before the day of the expo. Uh, Prepare to accept checks and credit cards. I charge a 4% of credit card processing fee. Nobody's complained about that. Um, Prepare an information documentation about your expo along with an application to be mailed, emailed, delivered to potential people. Make sure it includes all your policies and procedures and legal notices. A lot of you have that. I make mine a one pager, but two pagers. One is information, last is the application. I do not pre-assign booths. I did that years ago, and that was a major problem. I mean, took a lot of time figuring out who goes what where. I wait to the setup day. So I have all the 157 exhibitors. I know where they are. I know where the sponsors are going to go, but all the others, I don't know until that day. I print out a sheet and I place their names on setup day, which you'll see. So you can do the pre-assigned. Some people say they want a particular spot. They'll request it on their form, but I don't assign them a booth number until they show up. They want a corner. Lately, I haven't charged extra for that, but first come, first serve uh, when they request that. If they request power, I try to accommodate, but I don't guarantee power. It's something we don't, and they can bring extension cords. So a lot of different factors that you might want to say. Okay, let's do the next one. How do you promote it? Of course, we do a major promotion, a one and two page flyer, and I send it by email, mail, delivery, constant contact to invite to exhibit. This is how you're getting businesses to exhibit. Send it out several times with deadline dates. Include the mailing, include the notices in a mailing of my every invoice that I send to the advertiser for the past probably 4 months. I put it in there. And especially you put that in there if you offer a discount to advertisers. But right now I just put the form in there and they notify me. I do notify ad agencies. A lot of them have clients that want to exhibit, and sometimes it relates to advertising, but also exhibiting. I put the notice opportunity to exhibit on Facebook, our website, and other means. Uh, I make follow-up calls and visits to businesses considering. And of course, once you get all these exhibitors, I generate a master listing by email address. And that's how I give them updates. And like a week before, I give them a detailed procedures on what they need to do, what they can't do, etc. And they appreciate that. And so they're prepared when they come to set up. And like last year, I knew that we were going to have, because my pre-admission, I knew we were going to have over 2,000, and I didn't think I had enough exhibitor bags. So I sent out the email and says, I need people to bring totes. I mean, what do you call the sacks? And I'm telling you guys, I must have had 9,000 bags when they all brought bags. So they all ordered, they all wanted their bags. So we put them at the exhibit booth, their exhibit booths, but also in the registration. So it was like I need to probably say how many I need. I didn't say how many I need. So we had overabundance, even though I had probably almost 4,000. We had a few left, and it was pretty exciting. So how do you, let's see, we talked about that. How do you promote, okay, that one. How do you promote the persons to attend? Well, this is what I think we have done remarkably. At least 2 months prior, we include a promotional in our publication, at least 2 months, sometimes longer. On our website, Facebook is amazing how much people want. Seniors and boomers are on Facebook. So getting a Facebook page, and also if you want to spend a little extra money and boost it, does help. You might want to update your ad whenever you add new sponsors and other news. We've done that. We send out a news release to all the local media, and I seek and get TV and radio show interviews of other radio shows. Not, of course, mine is heavily promoted, but I get other TV spots to promote it. And every one of my 3 affiliates here, ABC, NBC, CBS, and even Fox gives me a 3-minute promo and live on their news broadcast, generally sometimes a month, sometimes a week before, but it really helps. Of course, we send out notices via our thousands and thousands of constant contact and other e-blast system to attend the expo. And we include in our promotional ad, which is probably unique, is to pre-register to attend our expo with a perk of winning a special door prize worth about $500. And last year I gave away 3 $500 door prizes. So it generated over, I think the total count was over 1,800 people pre-registered. Sadly, a lot of them were via mail. Uh, got some email, got some mail. Hopefully, I know that Memphis does this. They have a website to let them pre-register. Next year, I think I'm going to do that as well. But I had of the 1,800 or so, I would say more than 1,200 were mailed. So that means people paid 75 cents to mail that form into the Best of Times Senior Expo. I was sad about that in a way, but they all wanted to win that and they were excited. That's the first thing we draw, and they can't put it in on the day of the expo. Do we load that information? In years past, we did. We don't load it anymore. We just capture the email address if they give us their email address in our constant contact listing, so it adds to our thousands and thousands of people. But that's what I highly recommend that you do. It works. It really works. I think that Memphis has done that. I don't know if you've done that, Dan, but it really works to get them an incentive to come, not just the door prize, but they took the time and effort to fill it out and say, I'm going to come with my person and with my spousal unit or with my friends, etc. So it does work. I'm telling you, it really does. And we put it in our magazine, we put it in the blast, we put it in the Facebook page, I think. So the many places they can access that particular form and cut it out and mail it to us. So I highly recommend you consider doing that. It is generated. So I've done that since 2010 when we first did our expo, and it's worked tremendously. Any questions? Setup for the day. Of course, you do a master setup at the venue. Hopefully, you've done it a little bit before the setup day so you can tell the exhibit company and as well as the venue to set it up. I generally do it several days before, and then I email all my primary contact persons, giving them detailed information about exhibiting and these special rules. I generate a listing of exhibitors by exhibit type, as I said, profit and nonprofit, and use that listing to print out a full page with their name, organizational name, along with a special color to denote the type and sponsor. So my assistant and I can go throughout the area of 150 booths on the day before and tape those to the tables and to the areas so they know that this is where their location. And we try to avoid placing any same type business next to each other, and people really appreciate that. And
Right.
so that really, really benefits you. Then the other thing we do, and the last thing is using the list of all the exhibitors, we draft a one-page sheet with all exhibitors. Next to it is, and it allows them, the attendee at registration, they're handed this particular form and they're asked to go and visit at least 80% of them and have the vendor check off, punch it, staple it, check it that they visited their booth. And so we determine a percentage. I generally determine 80% of the exhibitors must be visited by attendee to win one of those common door prizes that all those exhibitors plus the Best of Times and plus other people contributed. So those forms go in a big, humongous box on stage, and I get volunteers to come and pull them, and we verify that at least 80% of them, and we call their name. They must be present to win. So they all stay from beginning at when we start at 9 o'clock until 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So they're all there revisiting exhibitors as well as possibly winning a door prize. And again, that's in addition to the door prizes that our exhibitors have. So they come out with a lot of freebies, a lot of door prize, a lot of information, and many of them have more than at least 2 or 3 tote bags full of information and goodie items. So it's totally remarkable. So that one of the items that I highly suggest is you consider doing that, because that will definitely, your exhibitors will love you. I started that in 2010, and it's really every exhibitor thanks us for doing that, because I go to exhibit expos where I may get, some people know me and they won't even stop at the booth. And I've been with other businesses next to me that nobody even visited their booth, and they were there for 9 hours. It was so sad. And he said, "Why don't people come and visit? Don't they know what we have to offer?" Says, you have to give them the carrot to come to your booth. So that business that was next to me ended up coming to Expo, and they had almost thousands of people come by their exhibit booth. They were thrilled. And, they were definitely thrilled. And they were a consumer product person. They sold products, and they were thrilled. She was really thrilled about it. She said, "I'm definitely coming next year." She had more leads than she could do with. Any questions?
Gary, how do you get people to stay around that long?
Well, you'll see
Most people that at the
Right.
ones I've had, they don't want to stay around for hours. They want to come, go through hour and a half and leave.
Well, I hate to say this, I have very few people leaving because, Betsy, because last year the fire marshal was there with the fire people, and they said, "Mr. Kaligas, you need to tell people if they're not going to stick around to leave, because I can't let anybody else to come in your exhibit area. We maxed out of safety." They were worried. I said, "I don't expect a fire to be in there." They said, "Well, in case something happens, that you've got too many people and too many exhibitors, and it's that the ballroom is, designed for thousands, but you have quite a few thousands in there." So how do we keep them? We have ongoing entertainment throughout the day. I do the door prizes throughout the day. That keeps them there. We also they spend a little time each exhibitor and then go back. I'm telling you, some of them go back to the exhibitor to follow up interviews and follow up questions with them. I mean, and getting healthcare screenings take time. So a lot of them go once through, they get one screening, they'll go back again to get the next screening. So they can't do all the screenings at the same time. They don't sit there and do their blood pressure, do their glucose, do their balance testing. Let me see what else they do. They do tons of the occupational therapists do a bunch of stuff. Given the various vaccines and various injections, when they go to the various ones doing that, the pharmacy, they'd only do one at a time. So they have to come back around if they want another one. They want a flu shot, they want a pneumonia shot. They won't do it all at the same time. They will do it in cyclical. So they don't block up the people there. So it's worked out. It's sad. The other thing is the venues where I had one at the state fair for the past 13 years, they went out into the fairgrounds and then came back. They came back and forth. So we were right inside of the midst of the whole exhibit area. Our expo was in a coliseum right in the middle of everything. So everything was open. They could go out and get snacks. They could go out and play games. They could go out and visit their educational, informational booths, and then come back to the Senior Expo. At the casino, they went out and they went. I know many of them went and gambled. Many of them went to the restaurants, eat even better food than we offered outside. Many of them went to the bar to have a toddy, and let's see what else. So they did a lot of different things throughout the day, Betsy. So you just have to have perks for them to keep them around. But the majority, I would say, Betsy, they stay is because last year I gave away five $1,000 door prizes, and they have to be present to win. So they all stayed because they all had chance to win those particular prizes, and they were thrilled. The people win. I mean, one of them was the casino gave us that was over $3,000 worth of a package to the casino, to the extra credits on their slot machines, whatever, and then stay in their place for 3 nights and eating like 3 nights. I can't remember. There was a large package, and also a trip to New Orleans. So it was like a big package to them. Like was I said, seek volunteers. Oh, at your registration day, will they pick up the entry sheet? We always put a copy by publication, if we have any left for that particular month. And we put our resource directory, which we call Silver Pages. That's a big draw. I only hold back 500 copies, but those are gone in a matter of minutes. We put those and they're only up. We tell people to pick one up, but they don't have one, so they're gone. And of course, the tote bag. Sometimes we pre-fill them, and most of the times the items are around the exhibitors. And like the casino pre-fills, give us a bunch of stuff to put in there, and we might volunteers stuff them before they give them to the people there. We talked about seeking volunteers to help in moving into the expo, to help in the registration area. Because I have 8 people at registration area, and they're there in the morning, they're overwhelmed, and there's still get people coming in around 12 noon to 1 o'clock, even though it's over at 2 o'clock. So I still have lots of people, if they're allowed, the fire marshal allows them to come in. Eventually, I pleaded with the fire marshal that some of the people are leaving, and he allowed some of the people that were in registration line to go in. So we didn't have a major complaint, but there were some people wanting to get in, and he would not allow them in until a few people came out. All the television stations came to set up and the day of the expo, and it has given me last minute publicity. That was their noontime promotion. So it caused some people to hear about it and come after they heard their broadcast on the television station. So I was really impressed. But some people came up and told me that. I wanted to talk about be prepared for a crisis. Sadly, this past few years, you might have an exhibitor that does not show up, and or states that I reserved a booth. I know I reserved a booth, but Gary Kaligas and my staff, we don't have any record of you reserving or contacting us. And they say, oh, yes, we did. I said, can you show us what you sent? And a lot of them don't bring it. Oh, so you got to prepare for those kind of crises. Last year I had 5 that showed up, said they reserved a booth, and wanted to do a booth. Luckily, I got the venue people to come up, and we put them outside the convention center. So we got them there satisfied, and I collected their money. So they were happy campers that they got to be there, but they weren't on the list. Remember the list I showed you? So they weren't on that list. And they said, well, how can we get on the list? So making sure that you get a confirmation email from me. Did you email? Oh, I think we mailed it. Okay, well, mail sometimes doesn't make it. So you got to make sure you follow up with an email to me that you want to reserve a booth. So those 5, they were added at the end of the sheet and on the back, because there were 150 something of them on the sheet. And so nobody complained mainly, but I have had exhibitors this last year, 2 or 3 that didn't show up. They were billed, they paid. Why they didn't show up, why they didn't let me know, I don't know. I never followed up, but they just didn't show up. So sometimes I use those booths, and people that don't that that said they registered, gave me a booth and put them in. This year, I let a couple of exhibitors expand their booth and pay extra to get two booth tables, two areas. So they, right at the beginning, we waited an hour. Those people didn't show up. I told my assistant, let them have the other side. And so that's what we did. We talked about donating a door prize. We don't refund. If the exhibitor cancels or doesn't show up, you decide if you want a refund. We don't refund. We haven't had anybody complain about that. We talked about registration desk, the volunteers to help moving, and of course the local stations. Okay. Here you were asking, Dan, here is the sample that we used last year. So I open at 9, I go to 3, I do a introduction, thanking the sponsors, and then we've had this for the past 15 years. Spark choirs are the Shreveport Parks and Recreation choirs. There are like 15 of them in the area, and also in our co-city, Bossier City, which this was in Bossier City. So they bring probably 200 of their select choir members to sing for 25 minutes. Big hit because they bring all family. These are seniors now. They're remarkable singers. I mean, I'm telling you, they sing extremely well. And occasionally I join them. They love that. So I joined them. So this year we had them on stage and on the front. Stage wasn't big enough to accommodate all of them. And they bring a keyboard and they sing, and they're big draw. We have them always at the beginning of our expo, which brings them as well as spousal units, friends, and families to our expo. This year I had an educational presentation. AARP was one of my sponsors, so they did an educational presentation and a big chapter anniversary announcement. The Carson Family Singing Group is a singing group that's been on various national television as well. They were remarkable. There were like 3 family members. Perfect pitch, perfect singing. They sing a cappella as well as string. Footloose Dancers are an organization out of town that's not a lot allowed, but they do sync dancing. There's all seniors and boomers. They've been big time. I know at every one of them they've already contacted me for this year. We want to please, Mr. Gary, let us be part of your upcoming expo. I will probably let them do. They're well renowned and they're well loved by all of my people in the area. So then I start doing there's the pre-registration. I did 3 winners this year. I thought I did 5. And those people were thrilled. And then we start doing some of the door prize drawings for about 15 minutes of the people that have already checked off. So between 9 a.m. and about 11, hopefully we've got several in that basket that they visited at least 80% of the exhibitors. And they do. They have visited at least those particular members. A lot of exhibitors, a lot of them go back, but they'll drop their registration form in there. And that's for the regular door prize drawing, not the pre-register. That's the sheet they already sent in. Then we had another group. They're called Loose Association. They were remarkable. They were new. They contacted me to be entertainment, and they were very good. Then we continued door prize. My friend Louisiana Dan Gardner, he is a single guitarist, remarkable guy. Did a great job. Continued door prizes. The Elvis impersonator is generally my last last performer. He's remarkable. They love him. This time he had a difficult time going in the crowd. He starts from the stage and intermix with we had 1,000 seats, and intermix with all the people there, as well as it goes around the exhibitors and has his microphone, and he does about 20 minutes of great Elvis song. He's perfect impersonator. So then we would continue with door prize, and we announced the exhibitor door prize winners. And this year I did the 3 winners of the $1,000 door prize, and I think I had a 4th one. Must have been the the casino that added as well. And that's how we draw. Any comments?
I have a comment.
Yeah.
It doesn't have anything to do with what you're talking about. It does though. Okay, so those of you that know me know I don't do any senior expos. And probably never will because first of all, I'm lazy. Second of all, we have a lot of them in Erie. And like our state rep hosts one, our all three of our hospitals do it. And Erie is not a huge place. I mean, obviously Shreveport isn't either, but Gary kind of cornered the market on having one of those. But what I do with all of those is they always get a hold of me. Obviously, they advertise in my paper for them. And then they want me to bring my papers there. They want me to have a booth there. And I'll do my travel and the newspaper. And they allow me to go to each of the vendors there and give them all my advertising information and stuff like that. So even if other people are having a senior expo, I mean, it's good to go to them and see what they're doing and see what you think you might do different or they should do different, but also, make some sort of arrangements, like you'll put an ad in if they let you come and, promote your newspaper to the advertisers or to, the people that are there. Because I mean, I've had my paper for 40 years and there's still people that go, I never heard of it. It's like, I don't know where those rocks are they're living under, but I mean, it's just another option if there's other ones in your town to try and still be involved with them while you're working on setting up your own or changing your.
That's a good point. No, I try to attend all the other expos. We regarding senior boomer expos in my neck of the woods, nobody does one. Even the hospitals don't do one. I have 3 major hospitals and none of them do any type of expos. It's amazing. I've all been shocked. The only other competitor we had that national company that they came back I think 2009 was the last year they would come annually. And we haven't had any others in area. We have small ones. Centerwell has done it for the past 3 years now with me. So they're the only other ones that does a so-called senior boomer type expo. And none of the other players do it. Our cities, no, don't do it anymore. So I'm luckily don't have a competitor, but I've been asked now to do it more than once a year. No, I'm too old for it, and I'm not enough energy to do it multiple times a year. Any other comments? So how often do y'all have it in Vegas? But I know you don't have it as senior, right? Y'all have it as a general type expo, correct?
No, it's senior.
It is senior?
It is
Okay.
a senior expo, absolutely.
But
and
you also have
this-
a garden expo. I remember seeing something in the magazine or.
So this is just called the Spring Expo, but it is only seniors, and the people that come are from the surrounding senior communities, and they're all seniors that attend, and the products that are displayed are also just for seniors.
Okay. I'll hope you've gained some items that you can implement. I know it's in a few days, but maybe you'll implement the next time around.
Thank you, absolutely. There's some interesting things that I need to talk to Dan about at our 10 o'clock meeting.
Okay.
I have another comment. A couple of other people that they had me invite or they had me talk to invite were like the people that sell bicycles. And I mean, we have Schwinn, but because they sell like the 3-wheelers now, they sell the e-bikes. So those have been becoming popular at these shows because depending on where you live too. Here, your bike is limited to where, when you're going to ride it. But there's so many different products like that you don't think of in reference to, you always think of something that's a health aid or a scooter or something like that. But they said there's so many of them that do, or the athletic shoes, the sporting shoes and stuff like that, because most seniors don't like those, what do we call those shoes? Orthopedic shoes.
Diabetic
and stuff. Yeah, but there are other, I don't want to say normal, but normal companies that you would probably benefit by being there.
Right. Thank you.
No, I agree. Diversify it. I tried to contact other people I might think of, and some say yes, some say no. I've had last year was a new one. I had a person that does remodeling of a home, and that's the lady that was got so many referrals. I've talked to her since last October, and she said she must have got 20 referrals that played into business, and so she's definitely signing up next year for two booths, not one but two booths, and bringing people. And that's the first time I ever had a remodeler, major remodeling company to come in, and they were quite successful. But I love her. Her comment was, Gary, I don't want you to contact any other people who are my competitors. That was her comment to me.
Well, Gary, I want to say thank you. I've learned a lot. I'm blown away at the scale of your event. I mean, we tried to do 4 last year, end up doing 3. Now we've curtailed it to 2 and trying to do it right. And we're happy if we get 60 sponsored. I mean, exhibitors plus sponsors. You know, ours are a bit different. They're 4 to 6 p.m. They're what we used to call them boomer bash. We try to skew younger. We're trying not to have it be a traditional senior expo. So we've always been bucking the trend a little bit. They've been successful, but I definitely have some good takeaways from what you mentioned. What did you say you do for food for all that time period?
Well, I last time the casino had a offered snacks for free, and they
Nice.
ran out, of course, and they offered drinks for free, but libaceous drinks, they charge minimal. I was shocked how many people bought the libaceous drinks, and they charge a minimal charge for those. Each of the exhibitors brought stuff. I mean, I'm not every one of them, but I tell them you can bring snacks. The hotel cared less, and so they all brought different snackies.
Nice.
But this year they have this. They don't have a, most casinos now don't have a, what do you call it, a buffet. This one has a like 4 restaurants, but during noontime they had a record turnout. So a lot of my exhibitors went there and paid, and the casino gave them a discounted rate. So they went there, and that was a perk. And nobody complained about food. I mean, there was, but I one other time I had it when I had it at the state fair vendors would occasionally, I would get one of my sponsors to contribute and purchase so many numbers, but they generally were gone within
Yeah.
order 1,000, and you have 2, 3,000 people, they were gone within a few minutes. So that didn't work out. I mean, nobody complained that got it, but the ones that didn't, what can I say? You can't plan for everything.
Yeah. No, great job with that.
Hopefully
And
you can get somebody to
yeah.
sponsor the food and they'll come by. I mean,
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing. We have sponsors, but they don't sponsor specific things. We just say you're a sponsor, you get these perks, but we don't have them sponsor specific areas, and that's something we've toyed with. Yeah, your door prizes. I mean, I know we should be doing that. We do raffle instead, and the raffle benefits a nice charity. But we don't have a ton of stuff for free. But we get 400 or 500 people, and the
that's
vendors are
great.
happy. So we're doing okay. Hey,
You could read.
I gotta run, everybody, but thank you
Hey,
again.
thank you, Brett.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Anybody else have a comment? Anybody?
Hey, Gary, what they did local at one of the ones where I had my booth, they got the state rep and he sponsored coffee and cookies in the morning. And so they paid for that. They brought it in, set it up. And, then of course him and his people schmoozed around with everybody and everybody, felt important. But I don't know how that works in other cities or states, that's Erie. And, I mean, we have 4 or 5 offices for different reps in town. And, if
I
one's going to do it,
invite
we all want.
I invite my federal congressman and the mayor's offices of both sides. And years ago, they did sponsor some of that stuff, but over the past few years, they don't do it because of the volume that we have. And they tell me that. They said, I don't think we can bring that much coffee and Danish and whatnot for the number of attendees you have, and we don't want anybody to complain. So, but my vendors, my exhibitors do bring enough of that. I mean, some of them, they truckloaded in water, Gatorade, snacky snacks. I mean, pretzels, you name it. They had some of them were piled with stuff underneath and as well. The giveaways, most of them all ran out of them, except the tote bags. I ended up giving the tote bags to some charity in town, and but no, that is good. If you have a small 500 turnout or something, I'm sure that that they would love to do that. And
You know, Gary, one of the things that we do for our bag sponsor, we charge double for the person who sponsors the bags. And then no one else can bring individual large tote bags. They can bring small bags of treats and such. But that way we get a double hit on what we're getting for the booth. And as far as food for in Las Vegas, we are at a country club environment, and so we are not allowed to bring in food like Danish coffee,
oh,
but they
gee.
give a 20% off coupon to their on-site restaurant. So
Okay,
we
cool.
can let them go there.
That's a cool idea. That's a good idea. No, I thought of years ago to do a bag sponsor, but that's when the bag sponsor, I think I charged them like you did, big expert, and I charged,
Doubled it.
they only bought 500 bags.
Oh,
Here we had 1,500, so
oh, wow.
we didn't have
But you
enough
know,
big,
did you ask them to bring 1,500? Because
we didn't know. I mean, that was,
mine always asks, how many do you want this time? Whoever it is. And so we pre-arrange that so that it's the right number. But the hard part is getting other people not to bring their bags since we have somebody that is the tote bag sponsor. That's a
yeah.
little tricky. I have to tell people, I send out 4 notifications prior to the events and let them know in the notification, the bag sponsors bringing the tote bags, please do not bring your own. If you have a small bag of goodies, that's fine. But the bag sponsor is the bag sponsor. Then we have the show sponsor who is charged 3x what the normal regular table is charged. And then we have corner booths and we charge 1.5 times what we charge the regular standard table.
Well, that's smart. I mean, and some of those exhibitors want to pay that extra perk to get that extra location. Location is critical.
Right.
Uh, but the aspect about tote bags is all the exhibitor expos that I attend, other in the area, business ones, they all have their bag sponsor. And some of them, I have one of them that has 14 different names on there presented by the following different company, and so they companies, and so that's done.
Right.
I mean, it's a good. I could probably get more revenue out of them, but last year I only charged, what was it, 450. I don't have it in front of me. Yeah, I think the sponsorship was $4,000. The booth,
Wow.
the exhibit booth was $450, and the table, if you wanted just a table, not a drape booth, was $350. So it's only $100 difference. But remember, Diane, I'm very fortunate. I have no cost involved in that. So,
Right. And we do because we're at a country club. So we do a revenue share of, I'm not privileged to
yeah,
what that amount is, but
I
that is how
understand.
that's done. So we do charge this year. As May 2nd is $4.95 per, we call it a booth, but really it's a table set up as a booth. So
Mhm.
we provide the table, they provide their table cover. If they want a backdrop, they have that, depending on where they are in the room, because our show is much smaller than yours. We basically have 1,000 attendees and we have only room for 45 booths. That's just the maximum capacity of the ballroom, and that's the revenue share. So at least everything's set up. We don't have to pay to have people there to set up tables, to take care of everything, the electric, etc. That's all provided by the country club. So it's kind of worth that share for us to have them set all that up, because I certainly couldn't set up tables for everybody and do all that. Logistics and heavy lifting.
Oh, yeah,
I'm strong, but I'm not that
they do.
strong.
I'm still shocked in Vegas. You can't find a casino because the casinos, Monday through Thursday in my neck of the woods don't have a lot of traffic.
Oh, here they do. And they charge a premium no matter what. Yes, obviously weekends are more, but it would cost us a fortune to be in a casino. It
that's
doesn't
sad.
work. It doesn't work
I
at
got to
all.
tell you one more story about casinos. So years ago, I hosted one at a casino, no, not this casino, and we had the best of times slot tournament. And
Oh, wow.
and so the casino got all the approval from the feds, the state, whatever. And so
Right.
it was part of the expo. It was at the end of the expo. The expo ended at 2 o'clock. And then the people that registered, they had to register for it. Over 1,000 people registered, including Gary.
Oh my
So
God.
so they had like 8 or 10, maybe more than that, slot machines brought over to this next to the ballroom, and it started. Like I announced on the stage, the best of time slot tournaments begin. Whatever. So you got to hear this. So I didn't want to play, but they forced me to as PR. The casino said, Gary, you must play.
And
It's
you
all,
won.
it's all red. So I'm like fifth in line. I'm playing. All these people who know me are all around me, and I pull the lever, and the slot machine comes up and rings all this bells, and the lady whispered, "You won $5,000."
Oh my God.
I said, "I can't win $10,000. They'll think it's rigged." So I said, "No, I'm not going to accept it. We're just going to make an announcement. I'm going to donate it to the food bank. And can you do that?" And they says, "Well, we can do that, but don't you want $5,000?" I said,
Oh my
"I
God,
do.
Gary.
My wife probably does, but I think it'll be the most embarrassing PR thing.
To be the winner.
Be the
Oh my
winner of my own
God.
tournament." So they got their microphone. They says, "Mr. Kaligas won our grand prize. We still have more grand prizes to keep going though." There was like 10 people had already played. And I don't know what they were winning credits, they were winning money, whatever.
Right.
And so they announced that I donated. There was a big applaud to the group. I felt humble. My wife said, "What? You should have told him incognito, put it under my name." But
Oh my God, that's
but
great.
so we had a few since then. I never play anymore. I don't want to win. I don't want anyone to have that possibility of winning. But that's what actually happened. The
Wow.
beginner's luck there.
Gary, Betsy here. Two questions.
Go ahead.
D- Um, do you not feel you have to take care of the vendors in terms of food? Because they're going to be there for hours. I always feel I need to provide them, and they don't typically have time to eat before, starting set up at 8 o'clock. So I feel like I have to have some breakfast there for them, which is costly. So that's one question. What do you do about taking care of the
I have
vendors?
in the
And then
past
do you do a program?
since 2010, I've not provided it for them. Nobody's asked for it. I mean, it'd probably be a good perk to give them. Maybe I could ask somebody sponsor to do that, to go around and visit all of them. I might think about doing that this year.
What about other people listening in? Do they?
Does anybody else provide it for your vendors?
The Vegas Voice does
One-
not provide food. We do have water that we put on every table, especially because we're in Vegas and it's very, very dry here. So you have to make sure everyone is hydrated. But as far as breakfast, no. And again, because we're at the country club, we can't even provide it if we wanted to, because that's why they provide a coupon so that people can go buy. But our shows are only 3 hours. So ours are always 9 to noon. And then at noon, they break and they're given their coupon. If they want to go to the restaurant next door, then it's 5 hours is a big difference compared to 3.
The ones that I go to here do not provide any of that, other than they will have some water available, but most of them all have their snacks and everything, and people now aren't really regimented to eat at 8, eat at 12, eat at 5 sort of thing. They just kind of graze throughout the day, I think. So they always have some sort of snack on them.
Okay. And what about programs? I spend some money on a program and you know, with the layout of the tables and then the sponsors are written on the program and it's, you know, a 4-color slick piece. But I'm debating whether, I'm not sure people even really look at it. They just sort of walk in and start walking. Does anybody have any
We
feedback
do
on
not
that?
provide anything. There is a board set up that shows who's there so
Yeah.
that people can go that way. But I don't think you need to do that. I really,
Yeah.
Oh, I did it initially. I stopped it. I did it 1 year. 2010, I did it. And since 2011, nope. I don't, they can find the vendor. They'll visit the vendor. They're not going to go target XYZ hospital. They're going to go around and hopefully, because of my system, they visit every vendor. I mean, the
right.
majority of my people, attendees visit 100% of them. And I'm telling you, most of them even go back because they're there that long. They go back to several vendors because I hear some of the vendors telling me they're thrilled that they get a follow up with so and so, and that's a great idea, Gary, to keep them there because yes, they could visit them for 10 minutes and leave, and they're not gonna have a lasting memory of that particular business, company, agency. Uh, my state people come and they love it because they bring their laptops and they analyze this and that for them, and the benefit people and help them. So they're doing like a 30 to 40 minute with them occasionally. So it's
Okay, thank
but
you.
I don't print a program. Uh, I put it on the screen. That screen that you saw, it goes on the screen. It tells them basically the times, which is flexible, not exact. Uh, the only thing I print is that door price entry form, which we didn't have enough last year. So I asked the casino to print a few when we were down to the last few, and they had no problem printing it for me. We had enough. Any other questions? I'm gonna send out, if anybody wants a copy of the slides, I'm more than glad to send them to you. And the recording will be on NAMPA's website in the near future. Okay, thank you again for participating and best of luck to y'all's in Vegas. And
Thank you,
Cheryl, you
Gary.
should do one. You should have a trip.
What?
You should.
I'll do that right after I get my website up and going.
Fly me up there and I'll do one for you. I bet you'll have a tremendous turnout.
Oh, that's because everybody loves me, Gary.
I
You
know they
know,
do. But you can say you have an out of town or fly me up the area. I'll do it for you.
I still tell them about being on your radio show
I know that was really
a
cool.
long time ago.
That was a few years ago. Yes, yes.
Yep.
Well, thank you,
I
everyone.
look the same. I look the same on radio now as I did then.
Good comment. Good comment. Yeah, well, that was a good one. You are good. You are good. Okay, everybody. Thank you. Contact me if you
Bye.
need me. Have a
Good luck, Diane.
Bye.
Thank you
Take
so
care.
much,
Bye.
Cheryl.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Gary, I'm going to
Yeah.
send through that corrected. I'm going to send through the corrected financial report.
Okay. Thank you.
So if you'll send it out to everybody.
Okay. How do you stop this? Okay. You stop
You
this. Stop recording. Almost